So I started doing drag in January 2017. I'd been going to shows a couple years prior to that. But really it's like, as I was like watching shows, I started getting like ideas in my head for like performances, like what I would do. And, it was kind of like a, be the queen you want to see in the world. So when I started doing drag, I was doing shows that sounded cool in my head, stuff that I wanted to show, like kind of funnier stuff, cool stuff, conceptual things. And that's just kind of how it happened. And as far as like Maddy Morphosis, like Maddy Morphosis is just like a play on the word metamorphosis, which is like, to me, like what drag is. And it was also the best name I came up with that wasn't already taken on social media. So yeah, that's just how everything felt. What made me want to compete on Drag Race? Honestly, like doing drag, I've gone to like other cities, other venues, I've done pageants. It's always like trying to find like the bigger opportunity and new places to perform. And Drag Race is like the Olympics of drag. So like the opportunity to like get on Drag Race is like the biggest opportunity you can have in drag right now. And so that was obviously like my inspiration to audition for the show. And preparing for the competition was honestly like the first big challenge in and of itself. Because like getting to the show and getting ready for it is like honestly the hardest part. It's just trying to get all these outfits together, all these looks, pack everything like in suitcases, and just like you have such a short amount of time to just get everything together. And it's honestly like the hardest part of this whole journey was just like getting there. Oh yeah, I think NWA has like one of the best drag scenes, just in like the support and like how much we uplift each other. I know like other cities where it's very dog eat dog, everyone's kind of out for themselves, but around here in NWA, everyone really like lifts each other up, everyone supports each other. It's, I don't know, I could not have gotten to where I was, or gotten to this point without all the people around me. Like it really does take a village. I mean, if it wasn't for like the local drag scene, I probably never even got started or get to the level that I'm at. So just like everyone along the way helping me, whether it be, showing me the ropes, giving me advice, helping me with outfits, hair, just like, it's like along the way, just like everybody has had like an impact in helping shape like who I am as a performer. And I can't stress like how much like I would not have been able to make it to that point without everyone like in NWA. Oh gosh. Honestly, it's like opened my eyes to a lot of like drag that I don't see where we're at. Because like you're in Arkansas, like we all, like I said, we all help each other work together, and it, your drag can be very like homogenous or homogenized like where you're at, and you don't get to see like what drag is like in like other states or like other places, other communities. And just like going to Drag Race and seeing like what drag is like in LA, seeing people from Seattle, people from Georgia, and it's like all coming together, like people that are some of the best performers and like best artists in their areas all coming together, and it's like seeing it all in one place and like taking elements of that and taking inspiration from that and applying it to my own drag and taking it back with me. It's like it had like a huge impact on like my drag since like leading the competition. Honestly, with Drag Race is the most physically, mentally, emotionally taxing thing you can even imagine. And so after doing that, it's coming back home, it's very like, I just want to take a second, breathe, just do some little shows here and there. Like the last thing I need right now is another competition. They can look forward to the like most insane season on Drag Race yet. And I'm not just saying that, like it's honestly like ridiculous. Like if someone wrote down everything that happened on this season and read it off to you, you would think they're just writing some crazy fan fiction or something. Like there's some like, they've been promoting like some twists and turns in the trailer, and those are some of the biggest twists in Drag Race history, but it's not even the biggest twists of the season. Like there's so many like crazy wild things that happen on crazy runways, ridiculous like challenges, like untucked moments. Like it's bonkers. I actually like, whenever I first started doing drag, the only drag I was exposed to was like movies like Tu Wong Fu and the local drag scene. That's all. I started watching Drag Race in 2017 just because the people around me were making references and jokes about like the show, and I didn't get it. So I was like, I need to watch this show just to find out like what everyone's like talking about. And so I started watching it and kind of like fell in love with the show and like the craziness of it. And yeah, and now I'm on it. I hope if anything it takes away, like people take away from like me being on the show, it's A couple things. I hope, one, a lot of people, you know, that live out like in the middle of nowhere, that think that like they're stuck by like their circumstances or where they're from, that it's possible like to chase your dreams and actually like achieve them. I grew up in like a little tiny town like outside of Fayetteville, and now something like Drag Race always felt like something that happens to other people, you know, like it's something that you can't make it to somewhere like this unless you live in like in a big city like New York or LA. But the fact that me being on the show and a few other people too, like they came from really small areas, they chased their dreams and they made it, you know? I hope people would take away from that, like don't give up just because your circumstances where you're at. Life changes, circumstances changes, and it doesn't matter where you come or who you are. Aside from that too, I also hope too that like, you know, being like a straight guy on the show, that it sends a message to like other straight guys like watching the show that like it's okay like to be yourself, express yourself, explore yourself. You know, like life is too short just to fall into like the little box that you feel like you're designated to be in. Like don't be afraid to be yourself. I think a lot of guys are too scared to explore themselves just because they're worried about the stigma, but it just like creates this cyclical, you know, it just keeps going around. It just like leads to the same, you know, toxic masculinity that people experience. And a lot of it comes from like people being scared of how they're perceived. You know, it's just people are too scared to just express themselves and explore themselves. And I hope it just like, it gives people that little bit of push that to know that like, it's okay. You can be yourself. What you choose to do, how you dress, how you present yourself, it doesn't change who you are and how you carry yourself through the world. I hope everyone enjoys the show. I hope everyone takes a positive message from me, all the other contestants. Show love and support to everyone on the show, everyone in your life, and Black Lives Matter. So if you want to see more of me, you can like go follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. It's at Maddy Morphosis, and catch me on the show, RuPaul's Drag Race. It's every Friday starting January 7th on VH1.